Greetings, my name is Robert Diepenbrock and I'm the proud owner of this 1936 Auburn Boattail Speedster Recreation. This car is an amazing vehicle. You cannot get closer to a real Speedster than this. This has more Auburn features on it and components than the average real Auburn. So without further ado, let's start the tour. We're just going to start with a walk around here. As you can see, the car has pipes just as the original did. Coming back to the beautiful boat tail. Bumpers are as original with mounts, etc. Coming back around to the passenger side. No pipes on the passenger side, as original. And the main reason for this is that the hood on the car is an original Auburn Speedster hood. And there's the walk around. Now we're just going to start moving in on a few key elements of the car. Trip lights and a 1930 era police siren, the beautiful front grille, Stabilite headlights with original lenses, both sides. Let's move in on the Flying Lady here. As you can see, the Flying Lady is in excellent condition, no pitting on the chrome at all. We're going to pull back out and run along the pipes here up to the cut glass wind wings, the original windshield, and the Sportlight, Unity Sportlight spotlights. Running back along the body, you can see the Flying Lady on the body is in excellent condition. Pulling back and looking at the stone guards, which are also, the chrome on those is excellent. They come down along here, and you can see the chrome on the rear bumper. Now there's a little smudge there that I didn't clean, but okay. Going to move in on the lights and the gas cap. Just stay right there and we'll move across to the other, well, to the license plate and the other light. Let's move back. You can see the top is in excellent condition with the glass rear window, chrome trimmed rear window. And we'll move around here to the Golf door. This was your typical Playboy car. There's a Golf door to put your golf clubs in, of course, behind the front seat. Moving up again to the other side of the with the Sportlight light and the cut glass wind wings. Now, one of the features on this car is it has all original clasp handles, everything, all the hardware on the car is original. I'm going to run down the vent here. Here's the front clasp right there. Looking at the back end of the Stabilite headlight, running along the top of the front bumper here. This is an interesting angle. We're going to go right up over the Stabilite light and pick up the pipes here. You don't see that angle very often on a Speedster. Okay, we're going to get another shot, another angle of the Flying Lady. And as you can see, she's in pristine condition, as she should be. Indeed. Okay, well, I think that's about it for a walk around. Now we're going to start talking about features. Okay, the first feature we're going to go over is how to put down the top. The top on the car is, by vintage car standards, very, very easy to put down. Now, I normally put this down with another person. It's a two-person job, but it can be done by one person, and it can be done fairly quickly. So the first thing we're going to do is pull the securing snaps on the back of the top. Real easy. Around the other side. Okay, now with those loose, the next thing we're going to do is to unfasten the front bow of the top. Per the original, there are 3 butterfly set screws. One here on the left, one in the middle, these just whoops, that wasn't very good. Never done that before, but of course, live TV. They're on the right. Okay, so with the front bow loose, we just very carefully unclip it from the windshield. Again, with 2 people, this is a lot easier. The main thing to be careful of is not to chip any paint while you're removing the top. Pull it forward like this, and then the back hatch opens. The hidden top hatch opens. This is a lockable hatch. Okay, what we're going to do now is maybe move to the other side so you can see a little better, and then we're going to put the top down into the behind the seat. And then we just drop this in. See, it just cleared the hinges. And we slowly pull this door open to free this. And then we slowly pull back. Right down behind the seat. Now that was done by me alone, and that took what, 5-7 minutes? As you can see, the top folds right down behind the seat. There's still a fair amount of room back here. I mean, it's not a station wagon, but you can access it through the golf door here. This is the inside of the golf door, and we'll cover that in a minute. Swing back out here, and you can see the interior of the car with the all original gauges, which is, to me, the most attractive thing about the car. It's what drew my eye from the very beginning when I first saw the car. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about here is the clock. It may seem like an odd thing to start with, but before we fire up the engine, I just wanted you to hear the action on the clock. The clock keeps perfect time. Now you can hear it ticking, but the interesting thing about this clock is it's a combination electrical-mechanical. Every 10 minutes or so it winds up. You can hear it go bzzz, and that's the electric, and then it ticks down until it has to rewind again. Now what I've done with this particular clock is I've installed a switch underneath the dash. You can see it right there, so that you can turn off the clock, basically to save the mechanism. This is the beautiful set of original Auburn gauges in this Speedster. Everything about the dash is original. It's just stunning. It was the thing that attracted me to the car when I first saw it. That includes pneumatic wiper motors, which are original Auburn. This is the original Auburn heater, which is extremely rare. And it functions in a very interesting way. It has movable vanes. As you can see, the whole thing is beautifully chromed. It says Auburn on the right. And it has movable vanes to direct the heat. You can either select different kinds of angles with the vertical vanes like this. Okay, or you can completely open up the heater and direct it vertically, up and down. Amazing, huh? And look at the interior of the heater. It's pristine. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you probably the most unique original part of this car. It has an original Auburn starting system in it. What you do is you turn the key, and by the way, the car has a locking steering column. You turn the key, this cylinder comes out, you rotate the lever to on, and that activates your electricals. Check, make sure you're in park or neutral, and then you start the car by depressing the clutch, just as was done with the original StartX system. Give it a little choke, manual choke, give it a little choke, and here we go. Purring like a kitten when the lake pipes roll. Now the fuel gauge and the oil gauge on the cluster are operational. Notice the oil pressure is coming up to about 50 pounds. The gas gauge is indicating about a third of a tank. The amp meter and the temp gauge are non-functional. The amp meter because the car was upgraded to a 12-volt system with the 428 engine. And the temp gauge, the originals run on ether, and I've been told by many of the Auburn experts that don't bother fixing it because it'll break in a couple of months. Now, interestingly enough, got something else to show you here. I installed a set of modern gauges to back up the original gauges. As you can see, the oil is indicating 50 pounds, water's about 160, volts are at 14. And these gauges rotate up during a car show, so the car looks completely original. Now to turn the engine off, you simply rotate the lever on the ignition switch to off. When you leave the car, you just turn the key the other way and it locks the steering column. Can I give you a full tour here of the engine compartment? This is a 428 Ford V8. Puts out plenty of power, I'll tell you that. As you can see here at the bottom of the engine, this is the functional exhaust system. This header system pulls the exhaust from the passenger side, the 4 cylinders on the passenger side, and brings them up to join the driver's side, and then they exit through the supercharger pipes or out the rear end of the car. Here's a close-up of the master cylinder, close-up of the distributor and water pump area, and I'm just going to try and make a little sweep down here so you can see this an amazing header system. Now we're going to walk around the other side of the car with the bonnets open here. And this be the passenger side. As you can see, she's got some awesome horns. We're gonna lay those on you here in a minute. Here's the other view of that header system. As you can see, it exits out into the pipes just as original. Generator, and the owner who built the car actually even has an original Auburn generator sticker on it, which is pretty fanatical, but in a good way. Again, the passenger side of the engine. These are petcocks, which I installed into the heating system, which allows me to keep the heater dry, because the heater is one of the rarest features of the car. Right here is the electrical panel for the 12-volt system. As you can see, the tachometer is also functional. These are the switch cluster for the lights, which we'll go over in a second. Got the original Auburn build plate. Another interesting feature of this car is the cutout valve. Another wonderful feature of this car is the original Auburn steel hood, which has all the original components and latching on it. These are the main controls for the car, electrical and engine. You've got choke, which the engine has a manual choke, and you have gas, which is allows you to just control the idle with a cable. And then electrical-wise, we've got your main lights here, and your trip light control here. Volume and station tuning. Handbrake.